Hello, everyone. Thanks very much for your patience there. We were just doing some initial setup. We are now going to be having a race between myself and Spartyy. And we welcome as well MGSR, who just got technically the first 115 in Euro, and Mini Omega King for doing commentary. Welcome, guys.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Howdy.
I did the thing where I don't introduce you one at a time. I've meant to stop doing that. Might be.
Nah, you're good. You're good. It's all informal anyway. It's impromptu.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go over to the game screens. I'll just double check everything's working, and then I'll get these guys to do a countdown and stop speaking. Can you imagine a situation
really.
where I stop speaking? Holy crap. That seems to work. Alright, I've got some problem with my load remover, so I'm not going to be using it for this. We're going to do a straight race. We're both on no load trick, and I'm going to deafen. Take it away, folks. Thanks for doing this.
All right. Good luck, Apache. Good luck, Spartyy. We're waiting on the
good
ready.
luck to both of y'all.
We're waiting on the ready command from both races. We just got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is an impromptu race between Spartyy and Apache. Minnie, would you like to introduce the two racers?
Yeah, so Apache, very talented European Extreme runner and MGS3 runner in general. He has been gunning it for some pretty hot times in some challenge categories too. And Spartyy over here, he's another really good runner. Very, I guess the best way to say Sparty's play is he's very focused, you know? Very, very focused player. Doesn't go for all the super hard stuff, but he nails what he needs to nail.
Yeah,
So,
Apache and I have long been of the belief that Spartyy is a silent killer. He's the kind of guy who's capable of producing a really good time, but you don't necessarily know it. He doesn't really run LT, so his times sort of get shoved down a little bit when they really shouldn't be.
Oh, look at that. On my end, they're synced climbing up the tree. Oh. And there you can see just a very, very small little optimization difference, probably unintentional by Apache, but if you grab your item bag by dropping off the ledge and Snake's back faces the camera, you save about a second over if Snake's chest is facing the camera. So you could kind of see it right there where Apache was able to pull ahead because of that. But of course, there's a lot of stuff that can happen in this run, so don't think that is going to decide it.
No, definitely not.
It can change. One thing to stress for MGS3 races in general is just it can change at any point. Your lead can be gone in a second if you just take a bad continue.
Yeah, absolutely, because this, obviously, European Extreme is GOID, game over if discovered, so one alert on a guard, and that's an automatic game over. You don't have a choice, and that's, at minimum, 10 seconds lost. It's more likely to be about 20 seconds, I think, is the average for a continue.
Yeah, usually.
So, first room with guards here, both players are going to do a quick headshot on the first one, and then they're going to do a trank roll on the second one. So, in MGS3, if you shoot a guard anywhere in the body and then roll into him, that stamina damage is enough to knock him out 100% of the time.
Yep. Doesn't matter where you hit them. You can hit them anywhere on the body. As long as you roll into them afterwards, it will always knock out.
Indeed. And he's going to do another one here. Both races are going to do another trank roll. And then another quick headshot probably a quick headshot on the guards on the bridge. So the quick headshot, they both did it. Most notorious for being basically, if you're on the same level as a guard and you raise your gun, you'll auto aim at them. So that's half the aiming done. And then if you go into first person and stand on your toes, the rest of the aiming will be done for you. Usually you'll be right on their head. So you can just shoot your gun and it'll be an instant headshot that way.
We take out a lot of guards in this run by doing that.
Yeah, there's actually very little manual aiming involved. It's pretty much just bosses.
Yeah, for most of the time, if you're going in first person view, in this run, it's because you are fighting a boss, not because you actually need to aim a shot.
Yep. And what both runners just did there, they did another quick headshot, then shot a guard on the second level twice in the body. And basically that makes the guard fall asleep about 10, 15 seconds, not even that, less than 10 seconds later. And lets them get by without getting seen.
Yeah, and you can see that Spartyy, he did a tactical reload on both of his shots, and I don't think Apache did. I didn't quite catch what he did.
He probably
to get rid of that guard. Yeah, I figured he wouldn't have.
It doesn't really matter because you're on a timer anyway. There's another guard that you have to delay for, or else you'll get an alert.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you do the tactical reload or not, but
yeah,
you can.
If you want to risk it, yeah.
You want to risk it. So we're going to see the first time we'll go into the cure menu. We'll see it a couple more times. And this is the most involved. And we'll be curing a bunch of cuts. And then right after the second to last cut is a broken bone. And if you skip that broken bone, like the very first one, and then get rid of the last cut, it just saves about a second of menuing over doing all of them in the intended order.
Is it that much?
Yeah, it's just about a second.
That's a lot.
Yeah. At high level in MGS3, 1 second is nothing to sneeze at.
So, beginning of Operation Snake Eater, there's a glitch here that you can actually do called a food zip. It's a zip. If you have 3 food items and do a sequence of events, you can zip across the world and you can actually skip the upcoming cutscene with the boss. None of these races are going to do it today because it's still very much an unknown entity. We do not know what effects it has on the game. We know it can at least soft lock and crash it. So it's not really worth going for, particularly in races just yet, but it is a possibility, and perhaps it could be new tech in the future. Standard tech in the future.
Yeah, it could be once it's more understood.
All right, so this roll coming up, kind of famous for being a little bit tricky, but I think both our racers are going to nail it today. They're going to roll just at this tree, which gets the attention of one of the guards in the back there, which gets the attention of the other guard by proxy, and stops them in their place so they don't run towards you. And that gives you just enough time to sneak by them without getting an alert. And then they walk right behind that guard with a grenade cooked, which silences their footsteps. And Bob's your uncle, you're out of here.
Very clean by both of them.
That was great.
Another room that can be the bane to learning this game. You need to make a very precise roll in between these trees. And both of them got it. Very nice. That is a lot more difficult than it looks. That is quite tricky.
Trees in particular. The trees aren't tree shaped. They're hitboxes. They're actually more like squares. So
yeah, they're very big.
Kind of weird to get in between them like that. They're kind of close together, but they did a good job.
Both of them nailed it. Yep. So pretty much just a little bit of a calm before we get to the very first boss, the Ocelot unit. And that fight is pretty involved from both of them. But we're going to be seeing probably, I'd imagine this. Ooh, Spartyy did the roll. Nice. I love that roll.
You know, Appel told me it's actually slower. He showed me.
Yeah, it is. It probably is, but it looks cool.
It does look cool. I like it because it's consistent. For anyone who didn't notice, Spartyy did a roll to pick up the box, a weird fancy roll. Probably a little bit slower. But we go into Ocelot units. So the racers are going to equip the Mark 22, take off the D-Mic, and plant a shot on this guard through the window. This is important. It needs to be a body shot. You don't want this guard falling asleep at the wrong time because it'll get the roof guard's attention and give you an alert. Then he's going to headshot the guard to the south and then body shot this guard. Again, it has to be a body shot. One well-placed stun grenade will take out all 4 of these guards that are advancing on your position. And Apache nailed it. So did Spartyy. Awesome. Lets them get a good clean
Very
lineup on
nice.
the roof guard. And then you can get a long-range shot standing over this wall. And, oh, Sparty's doing something a little bit different. He's taking out the southern guard here instead of in the room. Interesting. I think that's going to be the same speed, more or less.
Yeah, Sparty's always done that. He always leaves that, like when he exits out of the first room, he only goes for the guard near the fence first. He doesn't bother with the other one.
Very interesting.
Until he gets out of the area, because you don't actually have to knock him out immediately. So that's just how he does it. Again, that was a very minor difference in play for that room. Both of them did it very well. Spartyy just did like a little bit of a different thing. There are tons of different ways to do that fight. There's so many ways to do that fight. And usually you'll see individual players will have their own, like they'll do the fast strategy, but they might have their own unique, twist to it. And Sparty's in that case is not going for that southern guard at first, leaving him for a little bit later.
Yeah, that headshot can be kind of tricky coming out of that room. You also don't have a whole lot of time to land it, so.
It definitely, leaving that guard for later definitely helps with consistency. Because you're not strapped for time to get that shot and then turn around and go to the other guard. But again, it's mostly just preference.
So both players here are going to opt to cure the leech with a cigar rather than use the bug spray, which has been the traditional strat for years in MGS3. We would pick up the bug spray in the previous room and use it here to prevent the leech entirely. The only reason anyone ever did that is because the leech counts as a serious injury. And people tended to go for perfect stats runs, or at least as close as they could get. So once we stopped caring about that, we stopped caring about the bug spray. It's a little bit faster to go ahead and cure the leech instead of actually using the bug spray. We do that now.
Well, I think it was actually because they just realized, like, hey, you can just get rid of it if you swim fast enough and just get rid of it with the cigar without it counting as a major injury. But you can see right here they're going for... Oh, I meant to say, like, rather than, like, because it affects perfect stats, I think we just realized, like, oh, it's faster to do it that way.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. But at the start of this area, they did a shot through the wall. That causes a dog to bark, which distracts a guard, like, way farther away in the room for some reason. I don't know why it gets his attention, but it does, and it moves him all the way out of the way so that we don't have to bother in that last section. It gets very simple. So we got Ocelot coming up on Apache's end. Ocelot has a loop. Most bosses in this game have a loop, actually. So we'll see how he nails this one.
Apache's very consistent with the loop, so I expect him... Oh, he's lost it.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no. Commentator's curse.
No, hey, there's a delay. It happened before I said it.
Okay, alright.
This is really out of character for Apache. He normally nails this loop.
Yeah,
this
usually he never drops this.
Yeah, Ocelot is definitely one of his best bosses normal. Looks like Sparty's having a little bit of trouble too. Or is he? Yeah, he definitely is. That's not looking good. So
no. Oh, yeah.
The basic premise for the Ocelot loop is to stop him in his tracks at the beginning of the fight with a shot in the back. And then basically you're going to use stun grenades with intermittent shots to keep him in his place, and also the Markor in the back of the room. All of those things will distract him long enough for you to get more damage on him, basically, to finish the fight. Unfortunately, both runners lost the loop fairly early, and that was not a great Ocelot from either of them, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that was a little scary, because Ocelot can, if he gets out of hand... early on, you can die. He can kill you. So
absolutely,
it's a good thing they were able to both recover from that.
Good recoveries.
Very good recoveries. So I'm very excited to see them both do the pain. There's a lot going on in that fight. And again, kind of like Ocelot, there's not really a loop for the pain, but we just have a very quick way to deal damage to prevent him from even like starting anything.
It's more of like a stun lock, really.
Yeah, it's more of like a stun lock. Yeah, that's probably the better way to describe it.
So I think both of these racers are going to pick up the life med. I don't think either of them are going to be going for Oscam. Did you catch if they were on New Game or New Game Plus?
They're both on New Game, but they both hit I like MGS3.
Oh, okay, then they will be using Oscam. All right, so start the fight with a stun grenade, which stops the bees from being able to get to you. It disperses their swarm immediately as they spawn, and then plant a couple shots in them. It's going to put a shield up, throw a grenade. That brings the shield down. And then, 5 more headshots or so? We'll finish phase 1. That was a very clean phase 1 from Apache. Ooh, Spartyy got low damage on the first B shield.
Yeah, there might be a second, or maybe not. Maybe not.
He should be good, as long as he doesn't go for the
Yeah,
optimization on phase 1. Yeah, he will be good.
Yeah, he's good.
That was a really clean phase 2 from Apache. So phase 2 is the same as ending of phase 1. You're just going to throw a grenade, which brings down Pain's B shield, and then you just plant headshots in him until he's dead. As long as you're quick, you can get him dead before he gets another bullet shield up, or B shield up.
Yeah, B shield.
You might have noticed the red bees flying around. Those are bullet bees, actually. They're the main threat in phase 2, but they aren't really a threat on HD because there's a bug. Thanks to the frame rate, which is 60 FPS, when you're in first person, the bullet bees, for some reason, will always miss. They'll never really hit you, like 99.999% of the time. It is technically possible, but very, very rare.
Yeah, they just don't hit you for some reason.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. No one knows why, but it's the frame rate that does it. But either way, those were good pains from both runners.
Yeah, they were both very good.
Any pain that doesn't get you the second B shield is really good.
And just boxing up inclines on Sparty's end. If you have to go up a very long incline, the box is faster than rolling. Technically, they both travel the same amount of speed. It's just rolling has a lot of recovery frames, whereas the flat ground movement of boxes is slower than just walking normally. So you kind of have to, if it's like a short incline you want to roll, if it's a bit longer, you would want to box up it.
Indeed.
See, they're taking a very specific line in here while swimming to avoid the searchlight guards. And it just so happens to work out that right when you get to this last one, his light turns around. And he doesn't see you.
So this is the end. This is where you first damage the end. This is a really critical room. You'll notice that Apache did a quick headshot on that guard standing on the pier and then shot 2 barrels. Those barrels, they eliminate all the guards in the room, but more importantly, they do damage to the end. You might have seen his health bar there. You can see it on Sparty's stream now. That damage is going to carry into the fight when we get there. And that damage makes it possible for us to kill him in one screen when we actually get to his fight. A common question in MGS3 is why we don't kill the end early. Very simple reason for that is because it's slower. We have to go out of our way to grab the SVD, which alone takes about a minute. And the fight's only 1:15 long. On top of that, when you snipe him early, you have to walk through the his arena with the Ocelot unit in him instead, and that's a lot more time consuming. But Warehouse 1, gonna start with a tricky roll over the railing, kind of awkward, but hey, they both made it just fine. Box up the stairs, and then you can actually bump roll into these guards, and it takes just long enough for them to get up that you can actually sneak onto them. Oh, Spartyy took an alert on the top of Warehouse 2. That's very unfortunate. So what happened there?
That is very unfortunate, yeah.
The roll hitbox is pretty big, but he walked just outside of the range of the roll hitbox. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, just a little bit outside of it.
Yep.
That is very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. You hate to take a continue here. It's a fairly long room.
Having your bump roll actually not send the guard anywhere is like really rare. Because like we mentioned, the hitbox is actually really huge. Like It's really, really big. So having it miss like that means it was just very unfortunate timing.
It's possible that it also could have been iframes. So if you bump into a guard, he gets iframes for, I'm not sure exactly when in his animation that it is, but he gets iframes at some point. And it's very possible that you'll roll at just the wrong moment and it won't affect him at all, no matter how close you are. You'll literally roll through a guard sometimes, colliding with him, and it still won't do anything. That could have been
that.
Okay, so Spartyy diverged from the standard strat a little. Oh no, Spartyy!
Oh no.
So, I think what happened there is the dog saw him. I don't have audio on. Did you catch that, Minnie?
Yeah, I think the dog saw him.
So, okay, he's going to go for the normal strat now. Well, this is the normal strat. You'll just stand here and headshot this guard. What Spartyy did the first time is he actually auto-aimed the guard and shot him twice in third person. That is a little bit faster, but you run the risk of what just happened there, where the dog, it'll get the dog's attention because you're shooting metal. And if the dog looks at you, he can alert other guards nearby, and that's exactly what happened. That's just the risk you run by doing that strat.
Yeah. That is a faster but risky technique. You're taking a very specific line on Sparty's side so that he can put the science outfit on, and then, but right before he would get like captured, he puts the box on, and then that kind of like for some reason just like resets the timer and lets it make it in.
Very weird. But the
you can also make it in. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you can also make it in without putting on the box like that, but the line you have to take is very precise. I think they might have passed each other on the stairs.
Maybe. So I believe that Apache might do the quick headshot on this guard here. Yeah, he hasn't taken his suppressor off, so I think what he's going to do here, coming out of this room, is there's a guard to the east, and I think he's just going to quick headshot him. We're probably going to see something a little bit different from Spartyy when he gets here. They're probably about the same speed, really. Not bad. Good execution. Good. Made it through. You're always happy. So now Apache is going into the Fear. We're on new game, so we don't have any machine guns, we don't have an M16 AK, or we don't have the Patriot, so we can't do the proper cheese on him. So instead, we're going to use the log trap. He's going to run up to this trap here and fake Death Pill, which is going to make the Fear run up to him. And at a certain moment, he's going to revive, and the Fear is basically going to stand in place like an idiot. He's going to throw a stun grenade, which is going to stun the Fear, and for some reason, Kojima thought it was a good idea to make the Fear take stamina damage if he's stunned. And also, it removes all of his iframes. That was a really quick Fear. Ooh, man. That was so good.
Yeah, wow, that was really fast.
Yeah, I didn't even get to finish what I was saying. So, it removes all of his iframes and makes all damage turn into stamina damage. So, the traps also do a load of damage, so they can kill him really quickly. And you saw there just how quick it was. That was really good. We see a Spartyy here, a little bit late, but he's doing the strat that I mentioned earlier, where he shoots his gun, which gets a caution and makes this guard run into a specific position. He's going to trank him twice with a silenced gun, and that lets him fall asleep before Spartyy would cross in front of him. That's the variation I was talking about a little bit earlier, where Apache quick headshotted that guard instead. And the Fear for Spartyy, he's doing the same setup, right side trap. There's two traps that you can use, this one or one in the center of the room. The one in the center of the room is more common. It's the traditional setup, but this one is very safe, very easy and consistent. A little bit slower from Spartyy, but still very, very good. Any Fear that works on the first try is one that you'll absolutely take.
Yeah, both good fights from the both of them.
And you might have noticed that Apache did not cure the poison. Indeed. That means, so you'll notice that his health is ticking down, and so is his stamina. This means he's going to be doing 1 HP Fury. When he gets to the Fury, he's only going to have 1 HP, which means if he even looks at fire, he is dead. Oh, no.
Oh.
Just very, very, very slightly bad movement from Spartyy, and that's all it takes to get an alert. Just a pixel off sometimes, and you get an alert. It really does not take much. But
yeah, Warehouse 2 is a little difficult at times.
Oh no.
Yeah, that one right there, he should have rolled after that shot. That would have saved it.
Okay, so Apache's on the end. So he opens up with 4 headshots on the end with the Mark 22. These are long-range headshots, so you kind of got to snipe him. He did a really good job. That's pretty high damage. So then he runs into this position and does 6 punch-punch-kick combos. This is a buffer. He needs to wait 25 seconds, and those combos take pretty much exactly 25 seconds. He's going to throw a smoke grenade to obscure him and his position from the end, so he doesn't immediately shoot him. Makes a noise, which makes the end teleport to this position here, by this tree. He's going to throw a stun grenade at him, which 1 does stamina damage, which is really important, and 2 actually stuns him so he doesn't shoot at us. And then he's going to do a little bit of stamina damage here, hold him up. And this is where we do the loop. We're going to do a loop on the end with stun grenades and smoke grenades. If you hit him with a grenade, he'll stop whatever he's doing to recoil, which means we can keep him in place, basically. And we're just going to repeat that until he's as low as we can get him here. And he's going to run to the northwest. Apache and Spartyy know exactly where he's going to go. So they're just going to meet him there and stop him in his tracks and hopefully finish the fight just here. Perfect. That's really good execution from Apache. That's exactly what you're looking for. So now we see Spartyy going into the same fight. He has a lot to live up to here. This is that was really good execution on the end. So let's see how Spartyy does.
Pretty solid damage.
Yep, they both, I think that's the same damage that Apache got, so they're on equal footing.
Spartyy giving us the director's cut view so we can see.
I'm glad he turned his camera, because if you're looking where the end is going to spawn, he won't teleport. So I'm glad he turned around. I don't know, I hope he knows that. I think he does. I probably explained that at this point. Slightly better line from Spartyy. He went left around the tree instead of the north around the tree.
I'm sure it doesn't affect anything, but he actually hit the end with the stun grenade, which is kind of funny.
Did he?
Yeah.
Like punched him?
No, when he threw the stun grenade, it bonked him on the head. Before he started the loop.
I didn't notice that. That's funny. I don't think it changed anything. Okay,
no, it shouldn't change anything.
He should be able to finish the fight here. This damage is right on the cusp of being able to get a super quick kill. I don't think it would have worked. That's a really good a fight from Spartyy. I think that's just a few seconds faster than what Apache got. But it is possible if you basically get lucky. You can do more stamina damage on the end than normal, and you can get a super quick finish on the fight. You can actually just do 2 sig sprays, and the fight will just end right then and there. Unfortunately, neither of the racers got that, but still really good fights. The end can go a lot worse. If you don't finish him there, he's going to run southeast, and you'll have to finish the fight either by shooting him or chasing him down. Both of those are not great options, and if it goes really wrong, then he can entirely leave the room, and that can be really, really bad. So glad both runners got a really good end fight.
Yeah, the nice part about this new strat, or kind of like the new strat for defeating the end, is kind of like a double-edged sword, because it is like way faster than the old method. But with the old method, if you messed it up, you just go and he always goes left. You just go left, and then you just get a shot off him, and you're done. But with this new one, if you don't finish him by by the end where he's running at you, and then you sig spray in his face, it is possible it can get out of hand, and it can be hard to recover.
So, Mountains 1. This room seems daunting, but with the animals camo, you have a really good camo index, and the guards, they're kind of blind, even on European Extreme. So you can actually just do some well-timed rolls and stop any of these guards from seeing you, because when you roll, your camo index actually goes up just a little bit in this room, just enough to keep you from getting alert. So if you take the right line, you can sneak by without too much trouble and take out the only 2 guards you need to in the room, and you're good. Apache made it out just fine. Mountains 2. This room can be tricky. So, first thing you're going to do, pop a guard with an auto-aim shot as soon as you enter the room, and it's always going to be a headshot. It's just in that perfect spot, that sweet spot where it always lands. Now, Apache's going to do a box headshot on this guard next to the little hidey hole there. And that's kind of impressive in Snake Eater camera, I'll be honest. Box headshots, basically, when you come out of the box, your gun shoots a little bit higher with auto-aim than it normally would.
Yeah.
So you can hit the guard in the head easily.
It basically lets you do quick headshots without actually having to go into first-person view. The only problem is that you have to line it up a bit more. The lineup is a bit more precise. Why did Apache do that little spin? Did he think he was going to go into the next room with caution if he didn't?
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, right after he shot the guard right before Mountains 3, he spun in a circle for a second. And then went in.
Oh, Apache's doing caution strats. Very interesting. So Apache has been struggling with Mountains 3 lately, so I guess he's reverting to caution strats. They're both the same speed pretty much. It's pretty much exclusively runner preference for which you prefer. I think Sparty's going to do no caution strats when he gets here.
Most likely. Also, that was a very nice Mountains one from Spartyy. Sparty's also going to be doing Mountains 2 a bit different. I'd imagine, or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll do the fast one. I don't know. We'll see.
I think he'll do wait, maybe he won't. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, box.
Oh, he's doing it.
Awesome. So I didn't really explain this. Oh no, Spartyy! I need to stop talking. I didn't really explain what Spartyy was doing just then. He is shooting his 1911, which is the lethal pistol at this guard, and the lethal weapons make guards recoil when they get hit by them. So you can chain those together, shoot him 4 to 6 times, and he won't die, but you'll be able to get really close to him in that time. You can close the gap while he's recoiling, and do a roll into him, which will knock him off the mountain. And that doesn't count as a kill. You didn't kill him, Gravity did, although that counts as a kill because Spartyy just murked him. I think he got a headshot. But it's all good. These guys probably aren't going for Fox Hunt anyway. Safe, CQC slam. Alright, so this is the Fury from Apache. So, Fury, hard boss. Fury hard. Fury not good. Fury run killer. Fury takes no prisoners. Fury will absolutely hold you hostage. First thing we're going to do is we're going to knock the Fury down with 3 Mosin shots. Let him shoot at us, bait him into shooting us, and then hide. And hopefully, using this process, we can basically loop him and keep baiting him into... Oh no, he's escaped. Baiting him into shooting at Snake, and then hiding, and finishing off with some more shots. That was a really good Fury, still, from Apache. Even with a bit of an escape, he probably only lost a few seconds to that. You're absolutely happy to come out of the Fury with that fight, especially when you're on 1 HP. Like I said before, if you even look at fire when you're at 1 HP, you're pretty much guaranteed a death. There's really nothing you can do about it. You don't have time to put the box on or anything, much less if you actually get shot by the Fury. That was a really good execution from Apache, especially knowing where the Fury would land when he took off. That's impressive. Knowing your backups is really important, Fury. Okay, clean Mountain 3 from Spartyy on the second try. He did have a little bit of a mistake there on the first one, took a continue, but he made it out, so. Interesting. Apache did not do a quick headshot on that guard. You can quick headshot that guard, not sure why he doesn't. Clean. But you might have noticed what he did there. He headshotted that guard and then walked straight past the other guard with the box on. Weird guard AI, basically. If they see their enemy go down, or excuse me, their ally go down, their priority goes to them, not the box. So, what Apache's doing here is the MS Rykov. He shot that guard to the east in the leg with his pistol, which basically he and Rykov are telepathically linked effectively. So when that guy goes into caution, so does Rykov. And Rykov's always going to go to the nearest radio. The nearest radio is the one that's in the room that Apache is in now. So he just meets Rykov on the way and drags him on. Drags him on into the locker room like that. That was really good. MS Rykov is kind of risky because you do have to do some shooting and you can miss. If you hit the wall, you basically get an instant alert. Or if you hit the wall at the wrong time or in the wrong place, you get an instant alert. That was really, really good.
Now we're going to be seeing Spartyy go into the Fury.
Yep.
Pretty scary fight, regardless of whether you have full HP or 0. Or 1, excuse me. So we'll see how he handles it.
Okay, good early shots. He managed to get those shots in before the Fury shot at him, saving probably about 3 or 4 seconds. It's riskier, but it's quite a lot faster. Okay, this is a good loop so far. Oh, unfortunate. That last shot could have ended. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh my god!
So he was at just the perfect amount of health where getting hit and getting lit on fire will kill you. There is a way to avoid that. If you get hit and you know you're on fire and going to die from it, you can actually. The optimal strat is to stay on the ground and change camos immediately. That's the only way you can avoid death. Unfortunately, I think it all just happened too fast and he didn't catch it.
Yeah.
There, the Fury went into a bad spot, had basically bad RNG. He shot at him and then instantly ran away. That just happens sometimes, and the only real way around that the only real solution to that is to just kill yourself and restart the fight. That really is the fastest way. Okay, he's got the optimal spawn now for the Fury, so let's see if he gets a good loop out of it. Okay, he's close to the edge, so I think he's going to fall off with this. Okay, good. He doesn't, because he only shot him twice. He doesn't fall into... Never mind. Fury's weird. Sometimes it takes 3 shots to knock him over, sometimes it only takes 1. Unfortunately, then, it only took 1, which means that the Fury fell off the ledge and it's going to jump around and is basically running from Snake now. So he's going to have to play hide-and-seek to find the Fury. And he needs 1 more shot to finish the fight. Oh no, put your box on. Oh, Jesus. Oh,
oh my gosh.
This has turned into 1 HP Fury.
This is scary.
So this is so scary.
This is really scary.
Because on European Extreme, the Fury can shoot so quickly, and his fire travels so fast, you have no warning. If you're standing in the wrong place at the wrong time, he will just mess your day up. Because that you're dead in an instant if he shoots at you. You have to get out of the way so quick. Nice. Okay, he knew his backups. He stood there. He knew the Fury was going to come to him.
Yeah.
So he waited for him to do that and then took his shot.
That was a very good call.
That was very good. That easily could have ended in a death if he didn't do that. That was really good.
Yeah, he played that 100% properly. And honestly, as though although it might seem like, oh, when he got that, when the Fury ran away the second time he tried, and you might think like, oh, why didn't he just try for that, like try and see if he could do that, like that kind of fight? It's not worth it, because like you saw right at the very end that Spartyy was dealing with. Imagine doing that, but for the whole fight. It's It's scary. It's hard.
Right, and you saw how much time he lost when he only needed to hit the Fury once. He lost probably, on that fight alone, 40 seconds, 50 seconds maybe? Now
Yeah.
he had to hit him 8 times. So if he didn't get a single hit on that one where he ran away. So he would have had to hit him 8 times. That would have been ridiculous time loss. Really good decision to go ahead and restart the fight. But we see
he made the proper call.
We see Apache now in the cell. What he did is he kicked the rat and made Snake throw up, which makes Johnny run to you and open up the door. It's really important that he grabs that rat because he's going to use it in this room here. But what he did in the cell was he punched Johnny twice, then hit him with the SAA 3 times to knock him out, grabs the smoke grenades off his corpse. Now he's throwing the rat straight ahead, which alerts a guard, gets the attention of a guard in an alleyway, makes him look away from Snake just long enough that he can sneak by and do the smoke grenade trick again to get behind this guard without being heard. That's a very precise trick. It's actually frame perfect. Right, Minnie?
Yes.
Frame perfect. One frame.
Perfect.
Only one. Maybe 10 times one, but one. That was really good, though. That was good execution. And we saw Spartyy doing MS Rykov as well. I like that this is becoming the standard.
He did go for the safer play, which is to not do that shot outside of that room. But it actually, all that does is just speed it up a bit. It's not technically that much riskier than the normal variation, but just a preference thing, really. So in sewers on Apache's end, pretty much what you're going to be seeing here is just optimal movement. That's all you really have to do in this area, is just move well. There's nothing that can really get in your way. There's no guards or anything at this point, so it's just having good movement and getting through this area.
You know what? You'd be surprised how much time you can lose in the sewers to bad movement.
Oh yeah, you can lose a lot of time in this area if you're not playing properly.
There's really a lot of nuance to the movement, like just grabbing the railing. You know, you can get a fast grab. When you drop down, you either land and break your legs, or you can grab the railing. When you're laying down, you can get a fast lay down or a fast stand up. You know, there's just so much to the movement, and then obviously there's good and bad lines. It's really a lot more nuanced than it should be.
Yeah.
It's just.
It looks like he's just doing just walking around, but there's so much going on in all of these areas.
So going into the Sorrow, because this race is basically RTA. Apache's going to be doing RTA strats. He had the cigar on for the full escape, which lowered his health just a little bit. And now he's going to throw a grenade to kill himself instantly in the Sorrow. This is a few seconds faster than what we would normally do for leaderboard runs, which is just drown yourself. The reason for the difference is because none of the Sorrow fight counts towards the in-game time. The game looks at the frame count when the fight starts and resets it to that frame when the fight ends. So effectively, the fight doesn't count. For IGT, that means you just kill yourself however you want. It literally does not matter. You could walk to the end and die that way if you want, and it would still be the same time. But for RTA, it's a little bit faster to go ahead and kill yourself like this, or use the RPG. It's even a little bit faster than the grenade if you have it, but Apache doesn't. Oh, no log roll from Apache.
What a shame.
There is
he shouldn't be going for it. He's at that level.
I know, right? It is, what, a second and a half, 2 seconds or something like that?
It's around there, yeah.
There's a risky strat there you can do. You can roll off that log, but because the log is so narrow, it's easy to just walk off of it instead. Most runners don't go for it. High-level runners tend to at least go for a safe version of it. Apache went for no log roll at all there. And now we see Spartyy doing the same strat as Apache, but he missed the rat, I think. Did you see that, Mini?
Yeah, he missed the rat. He didn't hit it.
Okay. So,
but he can just kick it right after. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't actually
He'll probably
really matter.
pick up the bat. It would probably be better to pick up the bat at this point because Johnny's gonna throw food at you. Okay, I think he knows this, and he's gonna pick up. No. Come on, Spartyy, go for the bat. Come on, Spartyy, go for the bat. Oh wait, he didn't. Oh jeez. Oh no, this is really bad. He didn't throw it because Johnny didn't throw the bat because he saw Snake throw up before he got the opportunity to do the bat.
Yeah.
Probably what he's going to do is he's going to revert to old school strat. He's going to, yep, he's doing it. He's going to drag Johnny twice so he can get the noodles off of him. His second drop is always noodles, and he's just going to basically do what we used to do, but with a throw up instead. Good backup.
That is a very good backup, yeah. Very, very smart play from Spartyy in a lot of these areas. He knows exactly when, if something goes wrong, he knows exactly how to recover.
Yeah, that's very impressive from Spartyy. That's really good thinking. I love that awareness. So, from Apache's end, he's going to do a completely normal set of events. Oh no! That's Apache's first alert. That is Apache's first alert of the run. I think he was on total Foxhound pace before this. I don't think he had any skills or anything. That's really unfortunate to lose Foxhound here. So as I was saying, he's going to do a completely normal set of events, and as you can see, only the finest for Volgan.
Where did he mess up when he did it the first time?
He ran out without the box on.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's it. He did it so fast. It was so fast. I didn't even get a chance to see what happened.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah, because he walked out just a little bit without the box on and then put it on. I had to have been it.
Yep. Exactly what it was. That's exactly what I did on my 11635 in Warehouse 2. I just walked out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But anyway, so the reason that works is the same thing as before when he first came to Groznygrad, right before Rykov. Guard AI is kind of weird. When they see a friendly go down, they kind of take priority to check up on that friendly before they care about like seeing the box, for example. But they'll see Snake just fine. As you saw there, he walked out without the box on, and that's why he got the alert. But as long as you keep the box on, they won't ever alert on you. You can do circles around them just fine.
Yeah.
So, the Shagohod hangar. You might have noticed that Apache shot a very specific point on the wall. There's actually a scientist basically on the other side of that wall. So when a scientist hears a shot, he alerts all of the guards in the room on European Extreme. And because of that, the guards are just basically going to run out of the way. They're all going to run to some, I don't know where they run to, but they run somewhere, and they're nowhere to be found for us. They are not a threat anymore. Basically, it makes the room easy mode. It's really hard to get an alert in this room on Euro.
Yeah.
It's actually
as long
easier
as you shoot
to get an
that,
alert.
just ignore you.
Absolutely. It's actually much easier to get an alert on very easy, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So Volgan. He's going to throw Volgan on the ground with a CPC shove, and then shoot him in the back a bunch of times with the SVP. If he's lucky, he'll get a one cycle and end the fight just here. One shot short. And he just runs around the back and shoots him that way, finishing the phase 1. That's lethal damage, but it actually doesn't count as a kill because Volgan doesn't die. He comes back. Spoiler. He's the one in the Shagohod. And phase 2 is going to be more of the same, except he's going to have to basically wait for iframes. Pretty simple fight.
Yeah. So see if Spartyy goes for log roll, we might see it.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Spartyy. He's that kind of guy.
Log roll's cool, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I always do it.
And if I'm not mistaken, Spartyy drowned himself in Sara, right?
He did, yeah.
Okay, so that's a couple seconds lost on Apache there. Hopefully he goes for... Ooh. Hopefully he goes for the RPG or something. In the tourney. Okay, so he went for a safe log roll.
Slightly safer log roll.
That way,
if he had gotten that tougher roll on top of the log and then done the safer roll off, that would have been cool.
Spartyy enjoying the view in the 3D camera. Interesting new camera angles. We don't usually see that. Most runners play in the Snake Eater camera.
Yeah, in case you're wondering about why we use the Snake Eater camera, that's because it actually gives you more consistent visual cues for a lot of shots and setups through rooms. So it's just convenient to not have to bother with like trying to line the camera up so that you get your, find your proper visual cue. Instead, it's just fixed in place so you can always see it every single time. But of course, at the end of the day, it is preference. You can do whatever you want. It's not like fixed camera is like faster or anything.
No, you have to play the game the way I tell you to.
Yeah. You're playing it wrong?
Yeah.
Playing the game wrong?
The camera does make a difference in frame rate in some rooms. For example, in Mountains 1, the area gets really laggy if you use the Snake Eater camera, so it can be just a little bit faster to use the subsistence camera and look down. You'll also see that Apache's going to be doing a lot of that here in Bike Chase, so will Spartyy when he gets here. He's going to be looking down for as much as he can. The reason for that is because Bike Chase is just super laggy. When the frame rate in MGS3 drops, the game doesn't support frame skipping, so what it does is it just literally slows down the game. It runs at 90% speed or 80% speed. And the timer continues counting at the normal rate, real time, 1 second per second. So basically, when the game slows down, you lose time. So you want to reduce lag as much as you can. Both runners are going to be doing that, during Bike Chase in particular, because it saves about 25 seconds with good execution. And oh no, Spartyy! He did the exact same thing that Apache did.
Oh no.
What are we going to do with these guys? Got it the second.
We got it that time, yeah. There it goes.
What?
So,
and I don't know if you saw it earlier, Major. I posted it in chat, but Spartyy got the ladder grab leading into Grozny grab without sidling up against the ladder.
yeah, very interesting.
It's really hard. That is really hard.
It's not possible on JP.
Oh, is it not?
No, it's not. I've never gotten it. You can get it. You can get it 100%
weird.
of the time. If you, what you do is you run into the corner. So you like in the corner in between the ladder and the box beside it. If you always run there, you'll always get it. But only on US. I don't know why.
That is strange.
It's so weird.
But regardless, you rarely see that, even from people who consistently play on US. So very cool to see that from Spartyy.
Definitely.
That's like a second faster, probably, something like that.
Probably.
And yeah, like Major mentioned earlier, Apache's going to be looking up at the sky or down at the ground during Bike Chase as much as he can when he doesn't have to deal with guards, because that will reduce lag, which will save some time. And this is throughout the course of the entire Bike Chase, not just this one section here. Like, the entire thing lags a lot. So when you can, you want to just not be looking at all the action, because you can lose a lot of time from that.
And now we see Spartyy going into Volgan. He's going to do the same thing, shove him, and then plant some SVD bullets into his back. A little bit slower than Spartyy, but he still got a clean phase 1. That ended up being the exact same fight for phase 1, same speed. Again, it is possible to one-cycle him there. If you shoot quick enough and get a couple of headshots, you can make it so you don't have to run behind him and get that finishing shot. Ooh, Sparty's going to be low on ammo. He doesn't have enough. Okay, he needs to back up to the... Oh, no. I think he took off the 1911. No, wait, he couldn't have. He has the 1911 because he menued before you went up the left. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's really unfortunate. So Volgan uses machine gun attack on him, his machine gun finger thing. That's a really lethal attack. I think it's a 2-hit kill on Euro, even with Ozcam. It's really deadly.
Yeah, that attack is very damaging.
Looks like he's going to have enough this time. Perfect. Good.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, that fight can be kind of risky because you don't have a lot of ammo to play with. If you miss too many shots, or, you know, shoot when he has iframes, you can very easily run out of ammo, and that's exactly what happened to Spartyy there. He just shot a couple of extra bullets when Volgin had his iframes up in phase 2, and that caused him to lose the fight. Unfortunately, he could have backed up to the 1911 because he has it in his inventory, but for whatever reason, he just didn't. The 1911, you know, of course, it's a lethal gun, so it'll end the fight in exactly the same way that the SVD will. All right, coming up on the Shagohod for Apache. Just after he shoots this C3, Shagohod fight's going to start. We have to wait for the Shagohod, of course, to get to a specific point on the bridge before we can shoot the C3. There it is. So, the Shagohod. The Shagohod has a loop. You can basically stun lock him. What Apache's going to do is he's going to let Snake's aim drift into a specific point as a buffer, and then he's going to shoot when he sees a visual cue to stun the treads just as he's done. And he nailed that shot. The Shagohod is completely locked in place. So now he's going to alternate between shooting the Shagohod's weak spot, which damages it, and shooting the treads, which stuns it. So whenever the Shagohod is both damaged and stunned, Eva will try to get behind the Shagohod and stay there. Unfortunately, he has just lost the loop a little bit. It's a little bit random still. Eva, she's not necessarily the best driver. She's still a little bit random. Even if you have a perfect loop, she'll sometimes just leave and just not cooperate. And sometimes the Shagohod will do the same. That first shot is definitely the hardest part of the loop. You have to, it's kind of precise. You have to make sure that the Shagohod's not turning even a little bit, because if he is, it's a very, very low probability that you're going to be able to save the loop. So now Apache has completely lost the loop. He's trying to just basically salvage whatever he can out of this, getting as many glancing shots on that weak spot as he can. You'll notice he's actually shooting... There, he just landed one. So you'll notice he's shooting the weak spot from pretty much in front of the Shagohod. It works just fine. You can do that. As long as you hit basically the side of the weak spot, you'll do it. You'll hit it. Because the RPG has a lot of splash damage. So you can hit that weak spot from a lot of places you wouldn't really expect.
The hitbox on the splash damage for the RPG is actually a lot bigger than you'd think.
Yep.
It's very massive.
So phase 2, open up with a shot on the treads to stop Volgin in place, and then alternate between shooting him in the head with the SVD and shooting the treads. He's using the SVD here. You'll notice he's actually abandoned Foxhound strats because he lost Foxhound, so I figure you might as well go for all the time save you can. So he's using the SVD here. It's a 3-shot kill as opposed to a 4-shot kill for the Mosin, which is the traditional strat. So that saves probably, 2 or 3 seconds because you don't have to, you know, swap between the weapons and shoot. That was a really good phase 2. Phase 2 looks simple, and it kind of is, but honestly, it's really easy for Volgin to just escape on you. Sometimes you'll shoot the treads and he'll just tank the hit, or you'll shoot him in the head and it won't damage him. There's so many things that can go weirdly wrong there to make the fight go wonky.
The Shagohod is a very difficult fight. It's not as easy as it looks.
And you'll see Sparty's actually throwing some stun grenades here. I think he's actually, he's coming out. So on that last lap, you can take out the guards that are in those positions and prevent a second wave of guards from spawning in that room. I think he got it. I think he nailed it. Also, there's an RPG guard at the end. He's lethal, but he got him.
Yeah, yeah, he got him.
So I believe that was the last wave of reinforcements for Apache, and now he's going to come up to the roadblock. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely want to take out these guards here. They will do a lot of damage to you if you don't. Apache's a crack shot with these sniper rifles. Did you know that?
It's pretty good. He's getting some good shots in.
So this last checkpoint here, there's going to be a guard with an RPG. It's really important that you get him as soon as you can because obviously getting a shot with an RPG is really, really bad. It does a lot of damage, but not only that, it makes the game go down to about 2 FPS. So you lose a lot of time just due to that. And then you're going into one of the hardest rooms of the game with 1 HP, basically. He nailed that shot, got that RPG guard basically on the first shot, so that's really good. Glad to see that. So because they're probably Spartyy won't be either. Apache definitely isn't going for Foxhound strats anymore. They both have a life med, I believe, so they can resort to that. Yep, Sparty's got it on already, so they can resort to that life med if they ever would die. Hopefully save themselves with that. They've also got Oscam on, so they should be pretty good for this room that Apache's in now, the flying platform room, which is notorious for being the hardest room in the game if you're going for Foxhound strats. These guards just will lay into you like nothing else. They are super accurate, they spawn really quickly, they're all over the place, and most importantly, the middle guard, he likes to fly on top of you and just park there, which one, lags the game because his spotlight for some reason is super resource intensive. And two, he'll shoot at you from above. You can't hit him, but he can hit you. He'll plant you just loads of shots, and he'll never miss because he's so close. And three, he can light you on fire with his stupid jet platform thing. These guys are not fun to deal with on Foxhound. Thankfully, neither of these runners are going to go in for Foxhound strats anymore. They're just going to murder these dudes with an SVD or the RPG. Really easy to get by on that way. Shouldn't see too much trouble from either runner here. Okay, so Apache's actually on fire now. You can see what I mean. So what happened is Apache used the... Okay, good. Oh, that's scary. So
oh, wow.
What happened is he shot one of the platform guards and he crashed just in front of Apache, close enough to light him on fire. The explosion actually is what set him on fire. That's another big problem in this room. Normally what you would do in Foxhound strats is the only thing you can do, literally the only thing, is change camouflages and hope it doesn't kill you. That's literally the only option, because Foxhound rules, you can't use a single life med. But he didn't need to, because, you know, he has a life med. He can tank it. He's also got Oscam on. Oscam is a special camouflage. It reduces all incoming damage by 1/3. So really, really useful for Foxhound runs. Game-changing, in fact. Particularly for New Game. In New Game Plus, you have the Sneaking Suit, which reduces all damage by 50%, but in New Game, you can't possibly get that quickly without losing a lot of time. So, we see Spartyy going into the Shagohod. He's going to do the loop as well. He's going to time this shot on the treads, and he nailed it. Perfect. So, the Shagohod is completely stationary. Once you get the clear shot on the weak spot, he's going to shoot it, and then shoot the treads again to hopefully stun the Shagohod, keep him in place. Let's see how this loop goes. You got it so far. A little bit of safety strats from Spartyy there. He's not spamming, but planting multiple rockets on the weak spot to try and get that damage as soon as he can. Unfortunately, I can't tell if he got the weak spot, but he definitely didn't get the treads, so the Shagohod didn't stop in place. So he's
he missed the treads right there. Hopefully Eva will cooperate.
Yeah. She's not playing ball. Okay, so you just saw there what happened to Spartyy. The Shagohod had iframes on the treads. It's basically impossible to identify when the Shagohod's going to have iframes. You just hope you don't get them. On a loop, on a perfect loop, you'll never run into iframe problems, but when the loop goes south, that's when you start have to worrying about backups and iframes and things like that. And unfortunately, Spartyy just got nailed with some iframes. So that is Apache out of Bike Chase, going to go into the escort sequence.
Yeah, and Apache, if I'm being honest, that second to last section of Bike Chase was very scary. Your health got very low.
Definitely. Thankfully, he had that life med to back up to.
Yeah. I don't know why he didn't have it equipped. I would have had it equipped in that case.
It saves a menu, right? Don't
true.
menu until you know you're going to need it. That's the thing about the Bike Chase is none of that damage is going to be applied super quickly. It's all damage over time, basically. It's just chip damage. So you have a lot of warning if you're going to die, generally. The only thing that can really kill you is the log, and if he hits you with an explosion, that'll do a lot of damage. So I think it's worth not mentioning. Apache showing off that Eva does not take any damage from Snake here. He slammed her, and she's A-okay. Okay, so Sparty's going to go for a non-lethal Shagohod Phase 2. And there's that would have ended the fight if he was using the SVD. Still a very clean fight.
Yeah, very good fight regardless.
Like said before, sometimes the Shagohod can just basically run away from you in Phase 2. That's the biggest reason, honestly, why the SVD is so much better, is because you'll basically never lose it. That fourth shot gives you just a little bit more time for the Shacklehead to escape and basically ruin the fight for you. So, a lot safer if you use the SVD for sure.
That was also a very clever stun grenade throw by Spartyy. That was really nice. I liked that. I don't know if you saw, but he threw it at the ground right in front of the bike so that the guys chasing him would get right in front of it as it goes off.
Yep.
Very, very, very clever use of your stuns.
Yeah, that's good. You can also plant some good ones. I think he's doing it on the guards that are basically serving as reinforcements and stop them all get out on the road.
Before they even get moving.
So Patchy's going into the last room with guards. This room, Patchy's had some trouble with it before. He's lost Foxhound here numerous times, even at Marathon. So he's taking it safe. He's going to make sure he doesn't get any alerts this time around. That guard there, who he just shot twice, that's the guard who normally is a big threat. If you miss that wall, or excuse me, if you miss that guard and hit the wall, every guard in the room gets alerted instantly. And they all, or I should say, they know you're there and they start looking for you. And that can be a big problem because they'll run straight towards you and alert on you in about 10 seconds. You got to be really quick. Patchy nailed that shot, managed to get all the other guards down too, and now it's just escorting Eva to the end. There's a few more guards in the second half of the room, but they shouldn't be too much of a threat.
If you remember how we mentioned earlier in Delino Vodno that the trees are more like rectangles, you can kind of see it right there insofar as that guard not even spotting you. Just the way the tree lines up with that corner of the wall just makes it weird. It thinks there's a wall there, but there isn't. It's very strange.
So what Apache did just there is he kicked that plant, which gets the attention of the guard just beneath him there. Makes it easy to headshot him. And then planted a couple headshots, and the only two guards who are really going to notice him in the room. There's two more guards, but they're not even looking towards where you're going to be, so it's not worth taking them out. It's just a risk at that point. But he nailed those two guards, so now he is pretty safe to get out of the room. He doesn't have to worry about the guards anymore. And he's going into the boss, the final boss, the one at the end of the game. Like many bosses in MGS3, the boss has a loop. What he's going to do is, as soon as the fight starts, the boss is always going to charge Snake with a CQC attack. And he's just going to parry that, which is going to make the boss stand there doing nothing for a while. He's going to plant two Mosin Nagant shots in her head, slam her, and then throw a stun grenade straight up, which is a buffer, basically, so that it explodes right when she stands up, and she'll be basically back in this position, and he can repeat the process from the beginning. And loop her like that. So there's the stun grenade. Now she's standing there stunned. Plant two more in her head. Slam her, and then another stun grenade.
You might also notice that he's waiting just a bit before he does the shot. If you do the shots too early, the boss will just fall over and the loop will drop.
Right you are, Ken.
Does that slam and shot, then walks back just a bit to trigger the boss to do the attack again. Counter. Wait a little bit. Two Mosin shots, slam. That's the fight.
Really clean. That's
very, very clean.
Boss. Oh, and he's going to go for the swag officer outfit, too. Let's go. GG, boys. GG.
Sparty's having a pretty good bike chase, too. The health is kind of low, but sometimes you just get like a really, really bad bike chase 2 section where the guard's just being really aggressive for no reason and you just take a bunch of damage. But in all honesty, this room's almost over, and then once he gets out of it, his health doesn't really matter anymore. So this is fine. Hello, Apache.
GG.
Yo.
That's a really good run, dude. That's what, one alert, and that's your only mistake?
Yeah, it was not a really costly alert as well. I mean, if there's a place to take an alert, it's one of the weaker ones, to be fair. I hit L2, but the box just didn't come out. I mean, we've all done it, right?
I know that feel. I did it in my 11635.
Do you know, I really should just be more patient with it and just wait and make sure the box is on, because you have so much time there. Like, especially when I did like early guard, you'll see a lot of runners wait until the guard crosses the guard you're going to shoot before we fire. But I didn't that time. I did it before.
Yep, that is a little bit faster, but your timing has to be good if you're going to do that. You can definitely shoot that guard too early, and if you shoot too early, the guard who is running around the tank can actually see the guard that's going down, and that'll throw the whole thing out of whack and get an alert.
Yeah, you may as well be patient there. I mean, I just a tiny bit more patience, and I wouldn't have had to continue there.
Yeah, that's the thing about that room too, is you really have no room for mistakes, because if you get so much as a caution, you cannot leave the room. You cannot go through that truck with even a caution. Yep. So if you get even a caution, you just gotta reset the room.
I'm just gonna swap my stream over if someone hasn't done it already. Stick Spartyy sound on, turn it down a bit. I told them on the podcast, man. I'm gonna be tough to beat. And like that race is that run I did there is enough to beat anyone in the tournament, 100%.
Yeah, that's a scary run right there. That's a good time.
Just gonna come down to like Sparty's trouble with the Fury. Literally anyone can end up having that kind of fight with the Fury. Like terrifying boss fight. It's so scary, man. And like you saw, like I did 1 HP Fury. Spartyy didn't put his box on. Exact same result. Like exact same result. If you the only way you survive, like when we talk about 1 HP Fury, we mean you can't even survive it even if you equip the box. Like, but
and I don't know if you saw, but like in terms of like how people are going to do in this upcoming tournament, don't let the PB that you see on speedrun.com like be like, oh well, this guy's got a faster time, so obviously he's gonna win. Mistakes are very punishing in this game.
Not just
very
that, but
punishing.
Like the way we time our game currently is an absolute disaster, and we don't have that in the tournament. Like, honestly, it's an absolute disaster.
Yes.
It implies that like Major has found 2 minutes worth of time save on me, and I think Major is a better player than me. I think, you know, the way he plays is more risky, and he definitely saves time, but he does not save 2 minutes. Like, not in this lifetime.
No way.
If there was a 2-minute time save, I would simply do it. Oh, that was so scary.
Yeah, that was scary.
I don't know why you guys even go for that guard. That guard in the middle of the room, he's not going to alert on you as long as you just don't stop and wait around in the room. Just keep him moving, and you guys will be smooth sailing. I don't bother with that. It's way too much risk for me.
Ever since you said that, you know, shooting him to make him turn around, like, I'd just rather do that.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, for a continued, I mean, that's all it takes. I didn't press L2, or, you know, I pressed it and it at my input. I feel like I pressed it, but who knows? You know, let's say I didn't press it. I didn't press one button and I lost 20 seconds.
Right? That's all it is. It's as simple as that. That just happens sometimes.
My Ocelot was a disaster, but I feel like the recovery was so strong.
You know what? You guys both had kind of weak Ocelots, but really good recoveries, I think. Like you guys
both recovered very well, yeah.
The difference between headshots and body shots in that fight is massive. Absolutely massive.
For sure.
And something you also might not have seen, Apache, is like Sparty's play in this run, like despite making a couple mistakes, when he made a mistake that didn't cause an alert, he had a backup ready and he executed it right away.
That's what we noticed about him straight away. Like before, me and Major have said like Spartyy is probably the most mechanically sound player. Like he just can play the game very well. It's hard to say, like outside of a speedrun sense, his just knowledge and ability at the game is very high.
He is very good at MGS3.
Man, I'm even more excited for Joe versus Spartyy now.
I was telling everyone, that's the race to watch. That's the one I'm most excited for. It's definitely going to be the most intense.
We got some things to confirm with the other players, but I think we'll be doing a losers bracket in the tournament this weekend. So if you lose once, you're not out. You will get another chance, but if you lose twice, you're done. But it also means that grand finals has to reset, if that makes sense, because you'll have a winner and a loser. So you may have to win twice, but I need to check that's okay with everyone. It's okay with me. I'm pretty sure it's all right with Major.
Ooh. The boss is going a little bit wrong for Spartyy here. I think he missed. Oh wait, what did he?
He didn't get a headshot during the last rep of the loop. He just got a body shot.
That's a rip. Still, good fight.
Still
from
very,
Spartyy, not too bad.
very good run. Yeah.
Oh, did I win?
Yes.
Yeah, you won. Yeah.
I like to hear.
GG,
GG,
mate.
both of you.
Yeah. GG's.
GG.
One thing I want to mention, Spartyy, your like backups and just overall play is just when something went wrong that didn't cause to continue, you had the backup on point. It was ready. You executed it perfectly. So in all honesty, that was very exciting to see those backups. I was a big fan.
You see, the rat didn't get knocked out in the cell.
That was really weird. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, it means your movement split is weird because it's your I can't even speak. The way you move to the rat, it affects how the rat moves.
I think the rat moved properly. I think he just needed to aim more towards the corner. You need to be basically running right into the corner of the toilet in the wall to get the rat.
Yeah, I usually just go to the bottom right. Guess I wasn't like far enough bottom right. Guess I
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a pixel or two, a little
I
away
really
from
don't
him.
much. It was just slight.
Yeah. First, I kind of panicked for a second, and I'm like, I'll just grab Johnny's noodles.
Yeah, I'm glad you recognized that backup was a possibility. Initially, I thought you were going to go for the bat that Johnny throws at you, but you threw up too quickly. That
Yeah.
probably went a little bit faster, but still really good backup to pick up the noodles instead.
At least I'll know what I gotta work on for the tournament.
I will say one very good, like, just something that you noticed really quickly was on your second attempt at the Fury, when you noticed that he started to run away, that you immediately rolled off. The amount of time you would have lost had you tried to do that fight that way would have been insane. So you made the right call. You made absolutely 100% right call there.
First attempt at Fury, like we always joke around how much RNG it is, but I just completely last shot and he got away. I had him beat too, and it just didn't tactical reload right, and then he just ran away.
Could happen
Yeah,
to
you
it.
almost had it. It's a big shame.
Unfortunate. That would have been a perfect Fury loop, and it would have saved you probably 10 seconds on Apache, because Apache, he had a good loop, but the Fury did manage to escape on him, so he lost quite a bit of time there. But
yeah, that Fury was just my fault. Can't blame the Fury on that one.
Hey man, it happened.
That is a cruel boss fight that we all equally despise, I feel. It's a good way to tell someone hasn't really experienced the game that much when they say, oh, the Fury isn't that bad. It's like, oh, you haven't been playing long, have you?
How many times? When was the last time you fought him?
When was the yeah. It's like, yeah. Go and do it 15 times in a row and then tell me the Fury's fine.
Guy claims he beat him in one shot.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's okay if you one-shot him. We're not sure how yet, but once we work it out.
Trying to track down his strat.
What you need to do What you need to do is you need to beat MGS1 PAL on PS1 in 34 minutes.
It's kind of funny. Like as soon as I got that continuo, I was like, I'm gonna do like a mixed lethal, non-lethal bike chase, and then obviously lethal Volgin, which will give me some of the time back. So it's nice to have that there. If I'm no longer on Foxhound, I can take some of the time back if I've made a mistake. I think mix bike chase, mix lethal and non-lethal is the best way to do it, because you don't want to try and do the section with the guards where you have to get them all, otherwise Evo won't continue. Like I don't think Rocket is very good for that, but stun grenades are really good.
I agree, definitely. In the first room of Bike Chase 1, you definitely want to be using stun grenades there, because or shoot the guards off, whichever you prefer. But you don't want to be using the RPG because that room's pretty laggy, and you really don't want to add to that. Especially if you look backwards, it creates so much lag.
Yeah, the way I throw my stuns, apart from the RPG guards, I pretty much always look at the floor, and I just use the bike to kind of guide where I'm gonna throw them. I'm happy I got hit by the RPG guard, which is kind of funny, but these things happen.
Which one?
The one before you leave to the runway.
Yeah, you get the very last one.
Oh, that last one. No.
And something else that happened to you, Patch, that I want to mention.
Caught fire, didn't I?
Yes, you almost died there.
Yeah,
that was scary.
I thought I could change camo, and I was like, no, I've got a life med. I can survive this, because I had a lot. I was really healthy when I caught fire, so it only took 3/4 of my health out or whatever. And the last room's kind of free anyway, so.
See, because I saw you get caught on fire and then didn't menu to the life med, and I was like, what is he doing? He's gonna die.
That was so scary.
I thought you were gonna die from that. Like,
Honestly,
just straight up.
I knew the boundaries of it, and I kind of wanted to give you the enjoyment of wondering if I'm gonna die. So,
no, don't do that.
The boundaries of it. Like, I
Don't
was
do that.
honestly, I was never dying there. I'm not gonna do the whole platform section again. It's too long.
Oh man. Because like your menu happened like 2 or 3 seconds after you caught fire, and I was like, "What? Why did he delay it so bad? I would have done it immediately. What's going on?"
I wanted to show that I was on fire on stream and be like, and I know that I'm on fire.
Oh no!
I was just, I've said this before, but I was just enjoying myself, man. I was just having a good time.
I wasn't enjoying it. It's scary.
I couldn't find the life med for so long. I was just so rusty in my menus. I kept trying to menu the life med and got the cigar instead and the box instead.
That's the last thing you need. If you need a life med, the last thing you need is the cigar.
I had okay health, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't die.
But yeah, we've got a bit of a bracket change. I think we're going to get all the people involved together now after the stream and discuss the Euro tournament tomorrow. The tournament will still be happening. There'll probably be more games now as well. I'll put an announcement out soon and a little video on the Twitter. But if you're in the Discord, you will be able to see any info that's going on about the tournament, and obviously the Twitter as well. I hope the command's MGSR. That might be my channel where it's that. You can get the Discord from the website. The Twitter is hopefully this. On a personal note, because it's my stream, it's not my stream, it's my stream day. I'm on stream team. I'm doing a PMC Trilogies podcast later, the Overboost. It's in like 2.5 hours on PMC's channel. I'll post it on my Twitter. I'll retweet it on the MGSR Twitter. Please watch it. I'll be talking at length about 3 because it's the main bulk of my speed running life, but there'll be some personal stuff in there as well. Thanks all for watching the stream, Spartyy. Thanks for coming to do an impromptu race, mate. I know this was it served as your practice. But I appreciate you stepping in always, man. I love a race. I enjoy a race, so I hope you all, the viewers, enjoyed it too. Minnie, thank you for coming to commentate on 17 seconds notice.
I gave him more than that. It was a minute 17.
Something like that, yeah.
And Major as well, thank you very much for coming to commentate. I pretty much just banked on like you both wanting to watch it anyway and enjoying this kind of thing anyway. So, but I am grateful. All right, that about wraps it up for me. Sparty, do you care about going to your IGT?
No, I don't.